Joining us now is Senator Rick Scott from the great state of Florida. Senator, thank you for taking the time. As always, we have this standing appointment on Monday. You are doing a wonderful job. I'm in the state of Florida right now, and I hope you are too, because it's just a great spot. If not,
I'm still here. I go back in about an hour. We're working on these confirmations, these nominations to get them done. So we have to be there to move the process along because the Democrats keep trying to block it.
Yeah, so tell us about that. What exactly are the Democrats able to do? Can you explain this? Because our audience gets a little impatient, as they should. They say, we have a majority. Why do we have to wait for these guys, for cabinet officials? What gives? Explain it, please, to our audience.
Well, first off, here's what's frustrating. We've had 13 nominees done. At this time, Obama had 26. So what's happened is they can slow the process down by requiring us to have a vote on every procedural move you can imagine. They're also requiring us to use the entire 30 hours of debate time for every cabinet member, which they are. So we have to stay there. We have to work weekends. We have to get these things done. Tonight we're going to be doing the confirmation for Tulsi Gabbard. And then once we get her finished, which will be either tomorrow or Wednesday, we'll go to Robert Kennedy. So I'm optimistic that we're going to get enough votes to get everybody through. But be vocal. Tell your senators how much you care about these individuals, because it increases the odds that they'll vote for them.
So Senator, when is it worth saying, okay, we need to change the Senate rules? I mean, at what point do we get there? Because we are now 3 weeks into the presidency. I know that's a tough question, and I know that it comes with a lot of weight. But we're 3 weeks in, and we still do not have a Secretary of Commerce. We still do not have, and by the way, just so everyone in the audience understands, we don't have any of the deputy positions either. We're talking about deputy positions that need to be Senate confirmed. They are not good faith actors. I know we have no ambassadors. So Senator, they're trying to steal Trump's first, second term.
Well, what they're trying to do is try to make sure he didn't win. I mean, he won. He got a mandate. So what we have to do is we have to keep staying up there. And eventually, I believe what's going to happen is the Democrats will finally relent. Although what Elon Musk is doing is just destroying them. The fact that he's showing this unbelievable abuse. I heard there was a tweet this morning that just last week, over $50 million was sent from FEMA to hotels in New York City. This has got to stop. So he's finding this. What he did by, we're getting rid of USAID. How could any American say, oh, that was a good use of American money, what USAID was doing? So Trump's right. We've got to go through every line in the budget. I did it as governor. There's 4,000 lines in the budget in Florida. I went through every year, every line. We had a written purpose. That's how we balance the budget. Trump is committed to balancing the budget. So we're going to keep working on these nominations, but we also have to get this budget in line.
Yes, we do. Senator, I'd like you to comment on Doge, which I know is a new concept in D.C. to actually try and save money. You've been a wonderful fiscal hawk, which I really appreciate about you. You ran a great ship in Florida and have been trying to do the same in D.C. The federal budget has grown from nearly $4 trillion a year to over $6.5 trillion a year for no good reason over the last couple of years. What is your response to, for example, Senator Chris Murphy? Chris Murphy says we're in the midst of a constitutional crisis. I want to play this and get your response to your colleague. Play cut 13, please.
Listen, I think this is the most serious constitutional crisis the country has faced. Certainly since Watergate, the president is attempting to seize control of power and for corrupt purposes. The president wants to be able to decide how and where money is spent so that he can reward his political friends, he can punish his political enemies. That is the evisceration of democracy.
Your response to your fellow senator.
I mean, he's completely full of it. I mean, here, Donald Trump was elected. He has a mandate to start watching how the money's being spent. What Chris Murphy, I don't know what he's talking about. We should watch how we spend every dollar. That's exactly what Trump is doing. That's what Elon Musk is doing. He's showing us the unbelievable abuse there is in the system. He's not doing it to help a political ally. I heard somebody else. He's saying, "Do you want to waste money? Anywhere in the world?" I mean, some of the things the USAID was spending money on makes no sense. So Trump's doing what he should be doing. And he's talking about what's important to the American public, balance of budget. So I'm very appreciative of what everybody at Doge is doing. I'm appreciative of what Elon Musk is doing. We've got to go through every line. We got to get all this money out. Charlie, think about this. In the last 5 years, we've had a 2% increase in population and a 53% increase in spending. If we went back to spending 5 years ago, we would balance the budget. That means interest rates will come down. That means inflation will go away. We can do that. We should be doing that right now.
So Senator, the markup process is very important. There are some reports here, if I could read from you from, I think it was thehill.com this weekend. Let me get this. And I think it's very important, is that this. It's actually, thehill.com. Hill leadership now admits it is planning an extension of the CR through September 25th, which means that Trump's first year of his second term, it would actually be Biden's budget. Is that necessary to get to the reconciliation bill? And please explain this.
Well, what we have is we have 1 or 2 or 3 recreation bills. So with that, what the first one that we're talking about in the Senate is we would fund the border so Trump can for sure secure the border, which he's doing everything he can. Number 2, there's some military spending we need to do. And number 3, then we start the process to extend the Trump tax cuts. That would probably be done a little bit later, maybe April, May, June, or July, something like that. In the meantime, government gets shut down March 14th if we don't continue our government funding. So the right thing to do would be to go back and balance the budget right now. But it's very difficult to do that because we need 60 votes to be able to do the continuing resolution, whatever we're going to do. Typically on a continuing resolution, you have this big blowout spending. Fortunately, we're not talking about a big blowout spending bill now. They're talking about continuing the existing, which is better than 8,000 earmarks, which is what they've been doing every year since I've been up here, and everything under the sun that somebody wants. So right now, we started the reconciliation process in the Senate. We are working on what we're going to do on March 14th. Even though it's not the best thing, it's probably the only way we get 60 votes to get something done is the continuing resolution where we don't increase the spending. Then we can go with our reconciliation and cut spending as quickly as we can. We have $1 trillion of things that we can cut spending on. We need to cut $2 trillion, and we can do that.
And it is we have to first freeze all of this spending as well. It is such an exorbitant amount of overspending, isn't it, Senator?
And I mean, it's unbelievable. Think about it. So 2% increase in population, 53% increase in spending. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. Why can you balance your budget? Businesses that are successful have to balance their budget. I was able to do it when I was governor of Florida. Now, they had not done it but once in 40 years before I became governor. But why are states willing to do it and our federal government can't? It's because people don't want to stop spending. They want to just give away free money because it sounds really good and somebody will say something nice about you. But this is your money. This is not free money. This is your money. It's going to be, you're going to pay it in increased debt with interest expense, or you're going to pay in higher taxes and fees. That's wrong. It's not fair to the American public. So we've got $36 trillion worth of debt. If we balance the budget, guess what? We wouldn't even have to worry about a debt ceiling increase. We could do what I did when I was governor of Florida. We could start paying off debt. When I was governor, I paid off 1/3 of the state debt. We could do that at the federal level, and we should be doing that. We have to do that someday.
Senator, please stay right there. I'd love to keep you out for another segment really quick and just ask you about the CFPB, which has been, I think, an unconstitutional project for quite some time. I believe you are co-sponsoring it. You have this bill with Senator Cruz on the CFPB. What is the CFPB? What is the history? And why should we defund it?
Well, first off, I think what you're doing on college campuses has to be a lot of fun to ask them simple questions. But CFPB, I have never met one person in the entire country that said, "Boy, I'm excited because we have the CFPB." So it's just money to go harass Americans. They've harassed Floridians. It's just money to harass them. And guess what? Trump is doing the right thing. I mean, he's done so many things, but shutting down the CFPB would be it'd be unbelievably important to help build our economy. So I'm on a bill with Ted Cruz, who's the lead on it, to get rid of it. But look at what Trump's done, what he's been in office, 3 weeks? But just get rid of USAID, get rid of CFPB, He's got, 9 Americans back from Hamas, Taliban, Maduro. Maduro's taking people back. Colombia's taking people back. The border's secure. I mean, this is 3 weeks. Just think of what's going to happen in the next little less than 4 years now.
So it's just what's happening here with the CFPB over the last couple of years has been remarkable. And was it ever given original congressional charter?
My understanding is not. And guess what? They can shut it down because they can decide not to ask for money from the Federal Reserve. So it's not constitutional. It should never be there. And the Trump administration has figured this out. Russ Vought is going to make sure it doesn't continue in existence.
What is the significance of having Russ Vought as OMB director? He's now been Senate confirmed. Every Republican voted for him. What do you hope he'll accomplish as Office of Management Budget Director?
He's going to bring common sense to the budget. He's going to look at every dime. He's going to work with Elon Musk. He's going to work with other cabinet members, and they're going to figure out where all the savings are. He has had this job before, so he's got a lot of knowledge. He's a smart guy. He's fearless. He's going to have Trump's back. And they're going to figure out how to balance this budget and get this wasteful spending under control. So I'm really excited about Russ Vought. I've had the opportunity of working with him when he was in the White House the first time, and then the last 4 years while Biden's been in office. So I think he's going to do a fabulous job. And then Dan Bishop is going to be number 2 there. Dan used to be in the House. And they're both fiscal hawks, and they know it's your money.
In closing here, Senator, the legislative priorities seem to be on one bill versus two bills. Any other legislative fights that you want our audience to be aware of, bills that you are trying to advance that are of great significance or of weight, especially in this once-in-a-many-lifetimes opportunity that we have?
Well, number one, we have to balance the budget. All right. Number 2, we have to do everything we can to get China under control. I mean, they want to destroy our way of life. They're killing Americans with fentanyl. They're building a military to be able to defeat us. On top of that, we've got to support democracies and fight against the dictatorships in anywhere in the world, but especially here close to home, close to Florida, in the Southern Hemisphere. Then I'm excited about RFK, what he's going to come in and he's going to make us healthy again. Instead of the healthcare system makes money off of you getting sick, he's going to try to make sure people stay healthy. So you can go agency by agency. We're going to make sure we're independent from the standpoint of oil. We're not going to have bad food that we're eating. I mean, there's so many exciting things going on.
Senator, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your time. Much more to discuss at another time. Every Monday, we have Senator Rick Scott on the program. Honored for that. And thank you so much, Senator. Every other Monday.
Have a great day, Charlie. Bye-bye.
Thank you. I'll take you every Monday if you want to come, for the record. I'll take Senator Scott as much as we can have him.